Tonight, News 8 investigators digging for answers after the same Yale frat house has had a whole bunch of problems. That one frat has had at least 2 sexual assault complaints and a lawsuit.
Well, now there are questions over what the Yale University does to hold fraternities and sororities accountable. When do they say enough is enough, and when do they just wash their hands of it? Tonight, the News 8 investigators are looking for those answers. News 8's Erin Logan is live in our New Haven newsroom with what she found out. Erin.
And Darren, we made several attempts to do an on-camera interview with Yale University about how these fraternities are held accountable, but they instead explained it in email. So we checked with other area universities to see what their policies are, and we found they are all very different. This is not the first time we've stopped by the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity house at Yale University. Earlier this week, we called, emailed, and showed up at the doorstep of the fraternity's home, and the president never responded to any of our requests to speak about the 2 reports of alleged sexual assaults at the off-campus frat house. The same fraternity is also named in 2 lawsuits following a deadly Harvard-Yale tailgate that left 1 woman dead and 2 others injured. When it comes to fraternities, Yale simply says there is no on-campus Greek housing, but that every student at Yale, whether they live on or off campus, are subject to the same undergraduate regulations. At UConn, there is a much different scenario when it comes to the Greek system. They have 34 fraternity and sorority organizations on campus.
12 of our fraternities and sororities live in Husky Village, which is on-campus Greek housing, and it's run by Residential Life.
Todd Sullivan says there are a series of steps to determine if individual students or organizations violate student code to determine a punishment. In the last 7 years, he says there have been 4 who have lost their recognition for one reason or another. Usually the organization has a history of violations. One of those chapters, you guessed it, Sigma Phi Epsilon.
They had a chapter here that closed in 2008, and they have petitioned to return for this fall of 2014. So we were working towards a re-recognition process with them.
He says many times the National Fraternity Headquarters gets involved and gives input whether the chapter stays or goes. We reached out to several people at SIGEP's national level through email to get their input on Yale's chapter, but as of this broadcast, still no reply. At Quinnipiac University, you will see a Greek life presence, just no homes at all, just events. They feel this system means fewer issues like the most recent at Yale.
I think any time where you have large groups of students living, let's say, off campus together, it provides some difficulty in sort of seeing what's going on, getting access to the members if they're not on campus. So I think keeping students on campus in different ways is really helpful. We have more access.
Now, as far as Yale goes, the offer still stands to sit down with us and discuss how they regulate the Greeks that call Yale University home. Live in the New Haven newsroom, Erin Logan, News 8.